All right, now we are going to introduce Dr. Susan McCartney, who is from the Small Business Development Center at Buff State. And she's here to give us a presentation as to how her office could help us in our industry.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. President Hanlon and Joyce. I appreciate all the help you gave me prior to this meeting, all the kind invitation and information in the Zoom. And I particularly want to thank and recognize my colleague at Buffalo State College, Steve Sipnewski. As we were mentioning earlier during the chit chat before the meeting, Steve and I are collaborators with the Friends of the Buffalo State Arboretum. Both Steve and I serve on the executive committee, and I would say Steve and I get into it more deeply than probably anyone on campus. And we've had some tremendous successes in terms of expanding the Arboretum at Buffalo State College. I've learned everything from Steve. So I want to thank you very, very much for inviting me and recommending me to speak this evening. The expression what my day job is, what I do at Buffalo State College is I direct an entity called the SUNY Buff State Small Business Development Center. Have any of you heard of the small business, besides Steve? And now, of course, Joyce knows about us. Have any of you worked with the Small Business Development Center? Maybe some of you? Excellent. I saw a few hands. But what I'd like to do is explain what we do and then describe how I'm hoping we can be engaged and work together, okay? The center, what's important is to differentiate it from what one thinks of normally as a college, because our work is very external. Many of us do teach, but we're not even going to think about that. The center itself is engaged with the community, the entrepreneurial community in Western New York. And what we do is our center with 7 business advisors, we provide one-to-one confidential business counseling. So all those words are important. The confidential part is very important. The one-to-one is very, very important. And when we do it well, when it works out really successfully, or we really help someone to achieve what they're looking for, it is done over a period of time, which means we set up meetings, one-to-one confidential meetings, which are convenient to the entrepreneur that we're working with. So when I talk about an entrepreneur, I'm talking about locally owned businesses, small businesses. Typically, the individuals we work with have 20 or less employees. Many of the clients businesses we work with are what are defined as micro enterprises, and that's a 1 person to 5, maybe 3 or 4 employees, maybe home-based businesses. And then in other cases, we work with some restaurants, for example, that can have 50, 60, 70 employees. So it's quite a range. And it also, we have the pleasure of working with individuals who are in a very beginning stage, thinking about starting a small business. And then we also work with individuals who've been in business for a very long time. I will say that the past year, now is it 13 months, have been an exceptional situation for us. We have seen 3 times as many individuals than we normally would. And we usually see about 1,000 individuals for the one-to-one counseling. That does not count workshops. That doesn't matter. But the one-to-one counseling, we had to expand so this year we are seeing people at triple the rate. And in order to do that, we did bring some additional business advisors, consultants, specialists as part of our team to be able to respond to the overwhelming, immense demands. And I don't mean overwhelming for us. I mean it for you as an entrepreneur, the intense needs that have been created due to the pandemic. So it's been a very, very busy time for us. And we have done 80% of our work you'd have to call disaster assistance, survival working, assisting people to be able to stay in business, to stabilize themselves, etc. With that said, we also, even during the pandemic, have continued to work with very optimistic, enthusiastic entrepreneurs, which is the norm, by the way. Entrepreneurs by their nature tend to have basically an optimistic point of view because they know they can run their own business and they know there's a market and they know they can make things happen. We continue to work with individuals starting a small business, even during the pandemic. And I'm happy to report, starting in September, October of 2020, it started booming again in terms of people thinking of starting a small business. Okay. So it's very exciting work. So I thought I'd mention a few things more specifically, though, that we engage in. Let's say you gave us a call and you said you have a particular need that you feel we can help you with. I'm going to tell you what some of the things that we assist people with. For individuals who are in business, often we even if you didn't call for it, we try to engage you in a strategic planning process. We try to be, as you would expect, very future orientated. Where can we take you? How can you grow this, stabilize this business, grow this business, potentially add new things to the business, potentially add some new markets or add new employees, some sort of growth within your business. So that has us engage with you in a strategic planning process, which I'll mention just a little bit more about, because I don't want to just tell you what we do. I want to at least have you leave having learned something this evening besides that. So strategic planning, very important. If you're in the newer stages of a business, our startups, we do business planning. I know people think those are the same thing. They're really not. Business planning is where we're just looking totally to the future. And of course, being hopeful, optimistic, and hopeful we have the right stuff to figure out how we can move this business forward. If you're already in business, there is so much more to work with. First of all, you're so much more informed, and we know what you need to know. We can find out, we can meet your needs so much more quickly than a person who really doesn't know anything yet. Okay, so there are some differences with that. A large portion of our work does involve assisting businesses to secure capital. Matter of fact, if I was asked what's the number one question we get with all the people who contact us, or the number one statement is, I need money, right? Come on. Now, some of you are thinking, oh, that might be me. And we understand that is extremely important. And in that role, we help you add clarity to that need, like specifically what you're going to need and what you're going to need over a certain period of time, because in order to secure resources, capital, money, whatever you want to call it, requires a certain type of packaging in order to secure that funding. And there are multiple strategies for this. There are a lot. I don't even want to go all into that tonight, but it ranges from doing what is the most traditional in people's mind, strategies for raising money, which is to go to your friendly banker and borrow money, right? Okay. Interestingly, that is not the number one strategy of success. Okay. Banks are very difficult. They create such a high bar for individuals to be able to borrow money. But we work with the banks. We also work with CDFIs, which are more lenient toward lending. We work with the government that very often has funding sources, okay? And we also work in the sphere called venture capital, which those are situations where an individual will buy into your business. It's not a debt instrument, but they actually invest in your business. Very popular, and in some situations, it is the most perfect way to go. It depends. Okay, so we don't know that, and you may not know which is the best option for you, but sitting down with one of our finance individuals, we have 3, they can really help you clarify your options. Ultimately, it is up to you, because for the entrepreneur, everything's up to you, and you have to take on that particular responsibility and make that decision. But we attempt to assist you with making a more informed decision. And when you decide what you're going to do, we go all the way with you. Okay. So if we contact the banks, we're going to go with you. We're going to talk to the banks for you. We will advocate for you, whatever you might need. Okay, so funding is like a really big deal. The second big deal is probably, besides business planning, strategic planning, financing, is marketing. Because the other thing that is the most common after money, I need money. The next thing we will say, what an individual will say is, I need more clients. I need more business. And that translates into marketing. Okay. And our approach to marketing is not to just try and create some ads, design something for you, help you with your communication strategy. We do attempt with you to do an analysis of the marketplace. We have found, and most business literature supports this, that the more you target, the greater the success you will have. If you widely generalize and pursue, as they say, everyone, often it doesn't connect. It doesn't work as effectively. And it's difficult for entrepreneurs because in your business, dealing with landscaping or other types of things, dealing with plants, or let's say you sell trees, or you grow trees, or you do people's landscaping, or you do their flower beds, whatever you're doing, you know, you could do this for anybody who wants a tree, a plant, or wants to buy a tree, etc. You know, that would, all of them would fit you. Yet the way to succeed in business is to really define a particular target market at a certain point in time. That doesn't mean you don't change the target market, but you only have so many resources. You have just so much time, so much funding. So it's best to zoom in. So we stress that very much, and we assist you with thinking through a strategy. Again, it doesn't mean you don't have the capability of doing a wider range of activity, but in order to fulfill more strategically a business approach, it is better to target. Okay, so we work on that too. Also, at our center, especially currently, we do have 5 marketing consultants available to us, and what they can do, and I urge you to take advantage of this, you could do this very quickly, is work with one of our marketing specialists, and they could review your website. They could improve your logo if you wanted it to. If you don't have a logo yet, they could design the logo. Wow. They could consult with you if this is the right, I hate that word, they could talk to you about, social media if you want to. If you think you need some help on Instagram or Facebook for your business only. Please, a takeaway tonight. Okay, one of the takeaways is target marketing. The other takeaway is that you may want to do some sort of social media, but you also may not. It really depends. And you might only want to do one at a time, but you may need to speak to someone about what this Instagram is, this Facebook, whatever. Many of you have a Facebook. A rule is you don't combine that with your business. I know you probably show beautiful jobs that you've done on your Facebook. It is preferable in the long run that you would have a separate Facebook just with the name of the business. And of course, one of the most powerful things in small business, and I hope you're working on this, it would apply to all of you, are testimonials. The literature shows that testimonials are one of the most effective and persuasive things that you can include in your literature. Okay. Also, a few other things that we actually have a very long list of things that we assist people with. And after this, I could send to Joyce. I don't have it up right now, is the whole long list of what we do. I mean, of all the services, we work in HR. Nobody likes to talk about human resources. It's interesting. I did a lecture once on human resources at this big event at the convention center. And there were like 500 entrepreneurs. And I was all set up and ready to go on human resources. I even named it something really cool, like everything you ever wanted to know about hiring and were afraid to ask, sort of a takeoff on the Woody Allen thing. And one person came. Okay. The guy who did I gave him everything he needed though. I was committed. He got the best lecture of his life, but the marketing, of course, sales presentations, they had everyone. Okay, so we do HR, though. It is obviously very important, your practices for hiring people, promoting them, leadership, etc. But for some reason, it's not a very popular topic. We also do procurement assistance, which means we can put you into a system to help you identify opportunities to bid on jobs. Okay, so we do that too. Also, if you feel that you would be in a position to be identified as a woman-owned business or a minority-owned business, or veteran-owned business, there are opportunities for something known as certification. Some of you probably are already certified, but if you are not yet certified, I have a certification specialist on our team. And you really need one person focused on that, because the process to becoming certified in New York State borders on torture. Okay, so we need someone who could really assist the entrepreneur from, putting their fist through a window. It's a very complex application, and I feel for all of you who decide to pursue it. But if you are eligible to secure that certification, you really should do it, because there are set-asides and special opportunities. We have primes calling us all the time, asking us if we have a certified business who does this or does that. Landscaping does come up, by the way. So I think it's a difficult but valuable option to pursue. So we do that too. So procurement, other things. It's very, very good. So before I conclude, where I'd love to take a few questions. I know you have a lot with your meeting, but I do want to mention a little bit about strategic planning, which is what you all would be engaged in, because you're all established from what I can see. And one of the cornerstones to doing strategic planning is to first do a SWOT analysis for your business. And we recommend you do that with someone. You could do it with your team, any business advisors that you have, a family member, because you don't want to do it by yourself. And the SWOT analysis is where you put a big chart up on the wall and you identify your strengths for the company, weaknesses within the company, opportunities and threats. You should do that every single year, because it definitely helps to inform you and your team as to what you're doing really well. And in many ways of looking at strategy for a business, if you're doing something really well, probably you should put more effort and investment in what you're doing really well. Weaknesses show you what needs to be either fixed or ignored. I teach strategic management, and there is a concept of some things just aren't worth dealing with, and you should not lose sleep over it. Okay, it's like it's a weakness, but it has minimal impact on your business. Okay, so you got to evaluate it. But some weaknesses actually, if repaired, offer a new opportunity for you, which leads to the O, which is opportunity. Those are things you're currently not doing, but they're out there with your name on it. Okay, and threats, threats, we don't spend a lot of time on threats. Those are things that currently do not exist, but the pandemic is an example of that happening. Threats are like gigantic things that could affect your business. Who knew we'd have a pandemic? But weather-related issues are potential threats. We don't know for sure if we're going to have an ice storm and takes the power out, or we're going to have a blizzard, or in other parts of the country, if they're going to have a flood. Those are things at least should be on your radar that, no, we don't know for sure, but there's a chance it might happen. And what is our game plan to respond to it? So so SWOT analysis really sets a nice foundation for the beginning of a year-long plan. So please consider doing that. And if you need help with that, we're happy to help you with that too. So we're happy to help you with your strategic planning. We're happy to review your marketing and meet with one of our marketing specialists. We're happy to look at your HR if that's of interest. Marketing analysis, competitive analysis. We could help design a little plan for you to be able to do that. Our goal is first, keep you in business, stabilize the business, and secondly, to help you grow and really be even more successful. And thirdly, I add this, I want you to have a good time. You know, if this isn't fun, what you're doing, you should rethink it. Okay, you really should. But most entrepreneurs really dig it. And that's why it makes our job exciting, makes it a lot of fun. And when we have a person who their dream becomes more fulfilled, it's very satisfying to us. So I admire what all of you do. And I hope you will consider taking advantage of these resources we can offer you, which are already paid for with the resources of the federal government, the state government, several foundations, and SUNY Buffalo State. All contribute to be able to provide these services to you. You should take advantage of it. It's really great. Are there any questions or any way I could help you right now? Joyce, I hope I didn't go on for too long.
So
Or, yes.
are there any of your services that are a cost to the individual?
Only training in person, group sessions. We have like a fee of like $30, things like that. When there's added cost for us to produce the workshop. It's the only time. The one-to-one counseling, there is never a fee. That's our primary activity. That is what as the director, my job is to secure the resources to make this possible, to be able to offer this service. That is the value proposition of our center, is providing, again, I stress the word confidential and one-to-one. It's really the best way to help someone, because every one of your businesses have special. It's special because you're in it. Okay, so we need to really be able to talk to you and what you want to do. Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We have a lot of fun. And we love that it's based at Buffalo State. We are currently doing telephone and Zoom meetings, just like this. So we would meet this way. I am optimistic that that will be we're not allowed to bring people in. It's really a pain. I'm hoping that will be lifted soon, because it really is better to like sit down and talk to people. It really is better. But since we've been doing this for over 12 months, we can, the engagement can be very powerful and very sustained and set up the meetings. The advantage to the entrepreneurs with the Zoom meetings, and this isn't so good for the people that work for me, is they see more people per day, because people can't stand this for too long. Yeah. When you come to see us in person, the meetings are often 2 hours long. Often that would be common. People would, sit down and we end up talking about everything, and we zoom in on your business and all the details, and you often bring documents. When we're doing the Zoom, it's hard for you sometimes to show us the documents. Sometimes, yes. I mean, I get all goofed up with that, some of the technology. So the clients do too. So I understand. It's not the same, but we will work as hard for you as ever, even when we're going virtual. Good, thank you. Good question. Very good.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you. And please come to Buffalo State soon and come visit our Arboretum, and Steve and I will take you on a tour.
I just want to emphasize too, Buffalo State has this wretched reputation for being just a crappy place to park a car.
Yeah.
Really a parking lot within, you can like 100 steps and you're into the building. So don't worry about parking. When the time comes when you can meet with Susan live at the property, it's not a big deal. I know.
Oh, it's nothing.
That was like when 20 years ago when I started my business, one of the reasons why I didn't go down there was I wasn't familiar with the campus. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go down there. It just stinks to go there, and it doesn't.
So we can do
no parking is not true. So
right, that's absolutely true. But we will continue, because we all bought this technology. Everybody has it. So for someone, maybe they'll come down in person the first time. Maybe, I don't know. I think it's going to evolve, don't you? I mean, the whole thing with Zoom and virtual, it will continue to some degree. Also, an article, this is very important. I want to leave this with you, and why you should meet with our marketing people. is the McKinsey researchers. They're the top think tank group on earth. They're all over the world. They recently did like a 30-page report saying that the type of technology you have, meaning your website and how it looks and how interactive it is, has to be as good as the requirements would have been in 2030. So we're at a level where you would have been 8 to 10 years from now. That's where you need to be now because of COVID. Every customer now thinks everything should work like Amazon, okay? And it's terrible for my restaurants. Restaurants are the biggest business we serve, you know, about 15%. And we see everybody, but restaurants are a very large cluster. And their need for an improvement in technology during COVID has been extraordinary. But do keep in mind, even if they don't do business with you online, they meet you at a party or they're talking to you, they're going to look at your website and they're going to expect that to look niftier than 2019. They didn't care in 2019. But now, because of COVID, they expect everybody's stuff to be really cool. So we are trying to really help people do that upgrade ASP as soon as possible. Okay, so there. I won't take any more of your time. This was great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Give us a call. And I will, before I'm going to stop talking, I'll put at least my email in the chat. It's easy. It's my last name. Okay. And please feel free to just reach out to me directly. Okay. Okay. I want to go to, oh, this says to Peter. I'm going to go to everyone, right? Everyone. And this is my email.
And you're going to send me the list of all the services you have. Absolutely.
Everything. You'll get that in the morning if that's okay.
Oh, yes.
I don't have that handy right here. Okay. And that's me. And that's Susan McCartney. And it's Buffalo State. I look at my email all the time. It's good. You know, I think it's better than calling the general office number where you go through the receptionist. I think it's quicker to get to me this way, obviously. Okay, I will depart. Is that okay with you all?
Yes,
is that okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome, President Hanlon. Thank you. Ms. Joyce, Steve, thank you. It's been a blast.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you, Susan.
All right, that was great.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a good recommendation. And I hope people take advantage of it. I wish there were more people at the meeting tonight to benefit from this.
Just so I did private message Christy. I think that we should invite Susan or somebody from her office, maybe at Ed Days. You know, we talk about we need things. Let's take advantage of that. I know they're honestly, their office is in the building that I work in, and you can't meet a group of more friendly people than in that office. So
that's great. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I was thinking we should even have her meet or somebody meet with us as a board. How can they help us grow our association?
Same thing for the association to meet with them, and I'd be willing to do that.
Actually, a really good
choice. If you want to do that, we can email her and see. Because many of the things she talked about were things that we were talking about, our social media, our website, you know, so many of those things are issues for our association. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. All right, we'll start with committee reports now. First on the list is the audit committee. Kim Schichtel, I see you're here.
Yeah, we haven't done anything yet.
No.
When did we meet, Joyce? We've had a meeting since we met last. So we won't meet again till what, fall, I think.
Fall.
Yep.
Yeah, our taxes aren't done yet either.
When will they be done?
They're working on them right now. So once that's done, then we could maybe schedule something.
Okay. All right. Botanical Gardens, Christy?
Hey everyone, so things have been going quite well at the Botanical Gardens. We just finished until fall our evening open hours for the Gardens After Dark exhibits. So that has really cool, really well responded. A lot of media presence has been for that. There will be evening hours though, continuing in the summer on Thursday nights. We're gonna have open hours and then some food trucks, hopefully. Things are a little bit up in the air with the food trucks at the moment, just because of impacts from COVID on the service industry and that kind of distribution of food items. But hopefully we'll get some folks and it'll be a good time. So other things going on, all of our online virtual classes continue to do well. David's classes, for example, continue to draw a large amount of folks to the garden. We have art classes, and then we have on-site programs as well. Things have been doing really good with the news from the governor for Monday that places can open with even more capacity. Hopefully we'll be continuing to see a whole bunch of people visiting, but again, with COVID safe procedures in mind, I think going forward still everyone's going to require time ticketing and masks until they say no masks. So if you want to come visit the gardens, reserve your ticket online.
Great, thanks, Christy. All right, CNLPs, Kim, you're on again.
Not much going on right now. We have a meeting, a state meeting tomorrow. So I'll know a little bit more if the state has set their CNLP day yet. Still working. I met with Bonnie. I got to meet with Bonnie again about, actually Christy could help me too. With her little group that, I don't mean to demean it, but the small group that they have of
The professional development group?
the horticulture, the Christy, what do you guys call yourselves?
Oh, yeah.
They went and they did the CNLP.
Cohorts.
Yeah, they went and did the tour that I want to do for the CNLP. So I talked to Bonnie about it, and she thinks it would be good to do as a CNLP. So now I just got to get all the names and everything going and set it up. That's pretty much it. The manual, I think, is, yeah, I'll know better tomorrow, but from what I read was about 85% ready. And again, like we talked about before, 2022 will start fresh, new, with the new manual and all new testing and everything. So that's where we're at right now.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kim. All right, Ed Day. Roger's not on. I don't know if there's anybody else that has anything about Ed Day. Steve?
Christy, you mind if I say something about that? Actually, I think I said this at the board meeting. I don't know if this was at the general meeting. I know it wasn't, because it was, we've already booked David Culp to speak at our Ed Days. If we're hoping it's going to go live. In fact, we're right now planning for it to be a live event in February. David Culp, who is our speaker in the webinar series, has agreed to he's penciled in for that day that we would normally have it. I don't know if you saw his webinar. It was very good. He's one of those guys where very engaging. He has many subjects he can talk on, and he's all about horticulture. So I think it's a good draw. We're going to shoot more for, we want to do, in addition to seminars and all that with horticulture things, we want to, because of the professional development that people are seeking, we want to do a little more professional development type seminars also on Ed Days. And I don't know, that's about all. We haven't had a meeting, and we need to have one soon. I'll have to light a fire underneath Roger's butt to get one going. So I know I have two other people. I know Kim and Christy, you're on that committee also. Do you have anything you want to add?
The only thing I can add, I can add sort of on a state sense, and Janetta went to the last meeting, so tell me if I'm wrong, but the state, I believe, is planning on doing the same thing they did this year too. So that will be another asset for learning.
One thing that Roger and I talked about, the telephone conversation and messaging each other back and forth during the webinars, is we feel in the future, I think Ed Days, maybe, like Susan just said, technology has changed so quickly in the last 13 months, 14 months. And what people are now used to, even though we really feel it's important to have a live event, I feel that that is the way to go. I mean, that's why people are in this organization. But we are thinking where, you know, maybe the wave of the future now for something like the education days is for it to be a hybrid event where whether things are recorded and they're available later on Zoom for a fee or something, you know, or live, if it's a live Zoom event, a hybrid event, you know, those are things that we have to consider. You have to think out of the box, and maybe that way we can get more people to participate. And let's face it, if you have more people participating, you're making more money on it.
I agree,
So,
Steve, too, because then you have other regions that, like Region 1 would probably never come to our ed days, but they
right,
might say, hey, those two talks sound interesting. I'm going to do those. And
right. And,
you know.
and that one last thing that was the eye opener with that webinar series that we had, you know, there are some really good people that were in other regions that I never heard of before. And it was really nice to see, and actually it's a different point of view of things, you know, something that is, you know, it's a big state. You realize that something happening 420 miles away is different than here, you know? So it's, I think that's what we're gonna look into. So, like I said, we haven't had a meeting or anything since, so.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
So that's it.
All right, Erie County Fair. I haven't heard anything yet as to whether they're even gonna have it. So I don't know, and I haven't heard anything from Gardy. I don't know if anybody else has anything to offer on that.
They have it scheduled on the calendar, but I haven't heard from anybody there. Especially because I do a lot of the judging there, and check-ins and stuff like that, and I'm not even getting any emails or any texts or, you know, hey, we're rocking and rolling this time around. So I don't know more.
According to the Federated Garden Clubs, we're still on for doing the flower show, but then it said something about it might be virtual, but that's about all that we heard from our end.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, foundation. Ed, are you reporting for the foundation today?
I didn't have any report, no.
All righty. All right, then we go to the golf outing. Kim?
Yeah, we're going to do it again. I got to get it booked. I figured I'd wait till they opened up for good, but after the snow, I'll give them a couple days. But I like to do it at Chestnut Hill again. I really liked that venue. It was really nice, and they were pretty cool there. So I think we're going to try there again this year.
And it was a moneymaker, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, really.
All right, thanks, Kim. All right, harvest dinner, that's me. I haven't got it totally planned yet, but right now it's looking like it's going to be, save the date is September 26th. I'm moving it up because I think with COVID uncertainties, it's going to be a mostly outdoor event at probably Phil Calarusso's place. So he has like indoor, outdoor, a lot of space for spreading out if need be. I just haven't nailed down the food portion of it. I was trying to do food trucks, but that has proven to be difficult. So it looks like we might do a barbecue with like Fat Bob's doing the food part of it. And I'm just waiting to hear back from Fat Bob's on menu plans and stuff like that. So, but definitely it looks like it will be September 26th. So jumping to landscape awards, people who are going to be involved in that will want to have their stuff ready even earlier this year than last year. But that's all I have right now for the harvest dinner. All right, historian, Matt Dorr. Joyce, do you have his email that we could read? Matt did send an email to us today with his report on the historian. Okay. So the History Committee work since the past meeting has been limited to the ongoing safeguarding of the organization's archives. We did do a little work with Joyce earlier in the year where we collected end of the year financial reports as hard copies of the archives since Joyce took over more than 15 years ago. Also, there was a request from the state for old images of past Arbor Day plantings, our organization's participation in. It was a difficult project for me to take on, pull out the archives and dig through for specific photos. And fortunately and thankfully, Dave McIntyre was able to pull some of his personal archives to share. Looking forward, COVID makes it difficult to get people together to work on projects right now, but activity happens when other people take interest. If you are curious about the archives history or would like to do some work with them, talk to Joyce, Dave McIntyre, or myself, and we will organize projects that allow people to go through the archives. So that's Matt's report on the historian. So if anybody is interested and knows anybody who's interested, again, just reach out to them. All right, landscape awards. Landscape awards, Dave McIntyre has asked to step down, and we now have Spencer from Site One that is joining Phil Calaruso and Clark on that. And I don't see any of them here, but I did join them for a meeting last week, I think it was. They are redoing the brochure. And they are sending or have sent out a survey to the members about the landscape awards to see what the membership is looking for in the awards, why they haven't participated, what they'd like to see be different in it. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. Also, they are possibly changing the categories a little bit. I thought Phil was going to be at the meeting and that he was going to present that to the membership as to how they wanted to do that. Joyce, help me out with this. Basically it was the best to show was the only thing they were changing. They were going to have two categories for that. The
They're
large best to show and the under 15,000 and the over 50. Oh, that was the other thing.
Yeah, right.
They are going to change the limits up
Yeah.
to 15,000 from the 10,000. And they're going to change the best to show into two groups. And the best to show will be a category that you win instead of the category that you entered for. You won't enter just for that.
Right. All the entries will be considered for best of show.
Right. So I think that's everything from
Yep.
the meeting. So that's all I have on the landscape awards. And again, it will be in September. Membership, Phil?
Okay, I have a little information on membership. We have new membership cards being made up. Joyce actually came up, I think it was on Christie's recommendation for a website that was able to help us maybe get a little better design for them. They did come out great, at least I thought so. They definitely look, I guess the best way to describe it is fresh and a little new. So those should be a good asset. I know we went through all the ones before, so they must have went someplace. So hopefully they went to the right people, not the garbage cans. But I know I personally used them. I gave them out to a bunch of people it's just kind of like a little cheat sheet. So those are a fairly good asset this time of year. Do we know if we would potentially have those printed anytime soon, Joyce?
I'm gonna send it to the printer. I was waiting for everybody to approve it, so I'll get it to the printer tomorrow or Friday.
Do we have a good way, an avenue of getting those out since we're not meeting in person? Because it's great to have them printed, but if nobody has them, you know what I mean? Is there any suggestions on how we can get them to people?
I think we may need to rely on maybe the board making a visit to some of the retail centers and the nurseries and delivering some. Because I wanted to buy those card holders as well, so they have something to put them in. So
Okay.
we may have to physically deliver some, but members like landscapers who just want a stack full, I can mail them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could just even put, I mean, you don't need a ton of them, but a couple in an envelope can't be, I don't imagine the postage would be too bad on that. Maybe we can get them just a few to keep in their visor, their truck, or, you know, wherever they keep their stuff, their binders, whatever, their estimating pads, whatever they keep.
Oh, yeah.
Getting those out there would be important. That's usually where I keep mine. I'm completely out of them. So I know personally I wouldn't mind help just, you know, getting them out there, distribution of them a little bit, but I definitely think it's gonna be important this time of the year because this is when you see people.
Yes.
So that's pretty much all I got for now.
Sounds good. Thanks, Phil. Leaf of Legacy. Ed, do you wanna? I don't have anything.
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. NCCC, Carolyn?
She there?
Is Carolyn still out there?
She was there a minute ago.
Well, Tom, do you have anything about NCCC?
Yeah, but she was going to give the report.
Oh.
You skip over her a minute. Maybe she just is coming back
Okay.
on.
All right, we can come back to it.
And yeah, then I'll do it at the end if we don't have anyone, you know, she don't come back on.
Okay.
She just dropped out. She's going to log back in.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
All right, so nominating committee. Phil, back on you. Did we lose Phil now?
No, I'm here. I'm just waiting for it to unmute.
Oh.
I don't have much on that.
Okay. All right, well, we like to encourage members to suggest nominees to you as well.
Yeah, get involved.
Yeah,
No real new information on that though right now.
okay. All right, Plantasia, Ed. Is Ed still there?
Ed must have walked away.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
door. All you see is a door.
Oh, the
A
lights
door?
are on, but nobody's home.
I'm back.
Oh, we'll go back to NCCC then, and we'll come back to Ed.
Yay.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi. Sorry, my internet froze. Let's see. I have a few interesting things to tell everyone. First off, I want to thank the association or the foundation again for funding our students to attend the webinars that happened earlier this year. The students really enjoyed that. They got to see a little taste of everything, so that was a good thing. And now for the extra interesting news. NCCC just a couple days ago authorized hiring a one-year temporary full-time instructor for cannabis.
Oh, wow.
So we are bringing in our adjunct Melissa Moore on a full-time basis for 1 year. And then we're going to be running a formal search for the permanent position in January. So she'll be applying for that too, but we at least can have her for a full year and then before we have to run the full search. So she is charged with expanding marketing and recruitment efforts and building a couple more cannabis classes over the coming months. Our enrollment is through the roof. We're talking unprecedented levels of enrollment.
Fantastic.
We are running multiple sections of classes, and we've never done that. I'm scrambling to find additional instructors. So there is an adjunct part-time instructors. There is an ad on the NCCC website soliciting resumes to keep in a pile so we can pull from as needed. It's exciting. It's crazy. It's exciting. And the last bit of info, and I was hoping Roger was going to be here tonight because this is something he has brought up a number of times during our advisory board meetings, is the need for some sort of more vocational type program that would appeal to folks who don't want to go to college. Okay, they're not in a position, maybe they, needed help getting, they don't have a GED yet, they struggled in high school, whatever it is, but something more like the vocational training that you can kind of see for carpenters, electricians, that type of thing. So what we've just filed for is a grant. It's a WIOA grant that funds the tuition, expenses, books, that type of thing for folks that qualify. They have Niagara County designated the horticulture industry and the landscape industry as a high demand industry, so we could do this. And what that will provide is we will bring in WIOA grant students. They will take, and Tom doesn't even know this yet, sorry, surprise. They're going to take Tom Mitchell's installation and maintenance class, Vicki Janseff's turf management class, and Tom Mitchell's plant protection class. With those 3 classes, that comprises the WIOA grant, and then we would do some job placement work with them to get them all employed. And because those classes end at the end of March, beginning of April, they'll be done right on time to get hired by local companies. So it's not a full-on horticulture education, but it's enough training to maybe bring some more individuals into the workforce, because I know that's one of the hardest things we all face, is finding individuals that have some background and the desire to do this work. So that's my news.
Very
It's fun.
Of course, she told everybody now, so I can't say no. Good technique.
And you will never, ever retire.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Well, that's great. Great news. All right. Where are we now? Ed, Plantasia.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Ed, you're muted.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I've talked to Chris, but we haven't talked about Plantasia, so I don't know. There's no news is good news, I guess, but I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay.
Right.
So
Okay. All right, well, now we'll go to policies and procedures, which brings us back to Kim.
We've done nothing.
Nothing, no.
Okay.
Sorry.
Been a productive year.
Yeah. Not much, with all the COVID stuff, not much you can do, unfortunately, right now.
Well, Mike and Sue have agreed to, Frank have agreed to meet Kim. So somewhere along the way, if you're open to that, we'll get together and have a meeting.
Yep, that's great.
Okay.
Dave, I'm sorry, I didn't realize Dave's iPhone was you. I apologize.
No problem. I know I turned off my video. I was eating.
Yeah. Oh. Anonymity. All right, let's see. Okay, so Professional Development Committee. Before I go to you, Phil, I'd like to read Matt's report on the professional development. If Joyce, we could get that back up again.
Mm.
All right, thank you. All right, the committee is still an idea looking to have a core group of people active. It seems that right now the committee is loosely bound together by common and shared ideas between Bonnie, Phil, and myself. Committee looks to generate income from the organization with industrial training, new network opportunities for idea exchange, and a focus on professionalization. In many ways, the committee is aiming to create a space for what the Western New York Nurserymen's Association was originally formed to do, only now its membership is composed differently than it was 50 years ago. And so we aim to create and foster new activities that are contemporary with current media and communication technologies and the ever-changing demographics and needs of Plant Western New York's membership. And then Phil, if you would like to add to that.
No, I'm pretty sure that sums it up, fairly well. It's just, starting new stuff like this, I'm sure is just going to be a little time consuming. No, I really got nothing else. I mean, that's pretty much it. You've got it in a nutshell there.
Okay, I did speak to Bonnie as well, and she is working on stuff as well, trying to come up with like 15-minute videos for training. So hopefully we'll be seeing something from that. That would be great. All right, thanks, Phil. All right, media and marketing, Christy.
Hey, not too much like new stuff to report other than the usual. Please follow us on everything. Hey, Kim, what was it like for Murray Brothers to go viral?
That was pretty cool. And we we never thought we would, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think I came across the post of your funny sign on one of my plant groups as well. So if anyone out there sees something fun like that, like how Murray Brothers went viral with their funny sign, that kind of stuff is stuff we'd love to share too. So yeah, send it our way.
Now, did Murray Brothers have an active role in making it go viral, or was that just?
Not that I know of. I was told that it went viral. Like I was told by other people it went viral. And I still can't remember. Joyce asked me to give her a little information on, but we can't remember whose idea the saying was. I think there'll be an argument whose it was now that it went viral. But
who's going to take credit for it?
Yeah, it was either Tara or my boss, and I vote for Tara, so I think it was Tara.
Now, Christy, do you see the Small Business Development Center as being someplace we could go to help us in our social media footprint?
I was literally thinking it when she started talking about it. I was like, oh, we should do that. Or because I know we've also talked about possibly having some younger folk maybe pop on like an intern with the college or something. Maybe they've got some connections too.
Yeah, I think we should follow through with that. I think that did sound promising to me. All right, the state. I have a few things from the state. They are hoping to, well, we'll start with Arbor Day. They're going to have their Arbor Day as a virtual. They asked that you register first. It should have been in an email everybody got from them to sign up for a virtual. And in Matt's email to us, he mentioned that Dave did send some pictures to him from our region, which is fantastic. So if you want to participate in that. Also, they are still planning on having the state fair. They think that there's a 60% chance that the state fair will go. If it doesn't, they're working on a plan B as well, which I don't know what the details for that are. But that is something they're working on. And at the state fair is when they have their awards. So they're looking for nominations for the awards, which would be the Hall of Fame, which is for somebody who's done something outstanding in the industry. the George Good Award, which is outstanding horticultural contributions to the industry. And then the CNLP, which is someone who in the CNLP program has done something to advance that program. And I strongly recommend that you make a nomination if you can think of anyone, because there are many people from our region that have won, such as Kim
Mhm.
and Ed
Ed.
and Dave. Just in the few people that we have on this Zoom meeting right now, there is, 3 people. So I think that our region is pretty strong when it comes to such things. So if you can think of anyone, I would suggest recommending them. Then the other thing was they have just a little over a year since the new management group came on. So it sounds like they're getting a lot done, which is good for us. And also they have finished compiling everything from the virtual education series. Would you received anything from them yet?
Have not, no.
Okay. Yeah, that would be interesting to see, like with Steve and Roger talking about doing the virtual education thing as well as for a moneymaker. And then if those recorded ones actually do sell, I mean, that would be a good thing for us as well. Well, hopefully we'll find out soon from them how much we made on it. But it sounded like it had a pretty good attendance, so.
Didn't we get, Joyce, didn't we get the amount that we know we're gonna get? I mean, didn't we?
Yeah, we know the amount we're gonna get. We don't know what's gonna come of the online classes or,
Sales of them.
that.
That's the part we don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kim, you have your CNLP meeting tomorrow.
Mhm.
Can you bring that up about when that will be posted? I've been getting questions about it. When will it be on the state's website?
When what will be on the state website,
Those
sorry?
videos of,
Oh, the video, yeah. Yep. Gotcha.
okay.
I don't know, I'm surprised the state hasn't said anything about having another meeting to wrap, I mean, we wrapped it up sort of, but whatever.
The educational thing?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just to go over that, the online and all that stuff,
Mhm.
what's left to do.
Right.
But we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm assuming Brian will be at the meeting, so.
Okay. All right. I guess that's everything for the state, unless Phil or Kim, you have anything else to add?
No, I slept through the meeting because I had driven all day. That's why I was glad you were there.
Joyce, the other question I had for you is that at one of those meetings, Brian had mentioned that he was going to do like an in-service educational things with like the executive secretaries. Have you heard anything from him about that yet?
Have not, nope, nothing.
Because that was supposed to be in training on the website so that we
Yeah.
could really have, like, our membership guide is on the website, which is nice, but I can't find a way to do that for the state to see what they have.
Yeah, he talked about doing a whole thing where he would walk, walk anybody that came to the Zoom meeting through the whole website. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe if he's on there tomorrow, I can ask him about that. Well, we have that happy hour thing too. The end of the month.
That's the Arbor Day one. Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know how much they'll talk about that. But.
Yeah. Well, it would be nice to find out if, if they could help us with the website too.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Because they were going to walk the CNLPs through how to register. Which
Right.
I guess I could have said this, but I haven't heard anything yet. So maybe tomorrow in the meeting, I'll know. Walk the CNLPs how to get on there, register their credits and do all that stuff. They were going to have a Zoom tutorial on that too. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let us know. Anybody have?
Wait, yeah, on that subject, I have been trying to put credits on and I cannot get to the, whatever they call it, your
Dashboard.
dashboard. Thank you. And I even spoke with Brian or left a message anyway. So yes, if you find out about that tomorrow, could you let us know?
Yeah,
Because
I'll let you know. That's was one thing we all said we'd like to do is hold some sort of tutorial for them to just go through it, do a Zoom meeting and just go through one and show everybody how to do it. So
that would be great because I was supposed to renew at the end of this year and they pushed it back, but I would still like to, if I can
yeah,
get up. and
no,
give the credits, I
I'm
would.
sure that'll come up in the meeting tomorrow because it was one thing we had talked about. So
Okay, thanks.
All righty, any new business? Anyone?
Jenna, I just want to touch base on what we discussed at the last board meeting. And it's something that, going back to, we were talking about the educational days and stuff. I think going forward, obviously we think hopefully in July we can have a live meeting, that's what we talked about. But I think with the Zoom and all that, I feel even the meetings now should be a hybrid meeting. I think they should be, even if we have a live meeting, we should have it also be a Zoom option for members. I think it would get a little more participation, but I think the real reason why people are a member of this is the social aspect of it. I think that might be why our membership is down right now, because we aren't having live events. So that's all I wanted to say is I think that, I know we were all, I know you're at that meeting, we were talking about that. In the future, I think these meetings should be a hybrid meeting where it's a Zoom option and also a live at a venue where you can go to and actually interact with people. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to let the rest of the membership know what we talked about at the board meeting. That's all. So.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Joyce, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You said the harvest dinner was September 26th. That's a Sunday.
Yes, it's going to be a Sunday.
Okay.
It's going, Janetta, do you want to talk about how it'll be different this year?
Well, the reason, well, there's a lot of reasons, but part of it is the uncertainty with the pandemic and trying to come up with a venue where we could have the flexibility in order to accommodate any changes they might make in gatherings. And
but you also want it to be family, family.
Yeah, well, it kind of evolved then. Like Steve said, it's important for us to be able to get together. So we didn't want to have it that there wasn't going to be the possibility that we get canceled and not be able to have it. And we thought that one of the other things that we would like to try to do because of trying to attract younger members is to make it more of a family-friendly event if we were going to have it earlier. So we decided on making it on a Sunday afternoon where it could be a picnic where the whole family is invited. And at Phil's place, there's the opportunity to have like activities for kids and stuff. I mean, he has like a playground and there would be like cornhole and badminton and other activities going on where the family could be there, but we could still have our awards thing because he has a barn inside. I think a lot of people have been there. So, he has the facilities for us to be able to go inside if the weather isn't great, which was part of the reason to move it up into September too, is just to hopefully make it not so cold and that more people would be able to come despite the weather and the pandemic and all that other stuff. We wanted to be able to definitely have something to look forward to. So it kind of evolved into this family picnic on a Sunday afternoon to have some fun. So that's kind of how it came.
I just wanted to note that it was a Sunday, that's all.
It is a Sunday, Ed, and I think you'll be able to get to church before it
Yeah.
starts, because it'll probably be at like 12 or 1 o'clock.
I have to kayak with Dave at 11 o'clock, but
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Dave.
Well,
No, no,
you can
no,
all
no.
stop
I'm okay with
you
it.
can all
I'm
stop
okay.
and see me on your way to Phil's.
There you go. Maybe you could kayak in the South Towns. I hear this place is the kayak down there.
Sounds good.
You can all stop at Murray Brothers on your way by.
There you go. We'll be right down the street.
Yeah.
All right. Any other new business from anybody? Okay, so I am gonna put a motion to accept the minutes from the February 4th meeting.
I second.
Thank you. And then I was asked to read some reminders. As a member firm, your staff can be involved with Plant Western New York. They can attend meetings, receive emails, updates, and serve on committees. Please encourage participation. Send us their name and email address, and we'll make sure that they get added to our email list. Please inform us of address, email, employer changes if you have not been receiving emails from us. We're hoping to get more younger people involved in the program, and so we're hoping that maybe some of your employees or other people that you know would like to participate in things, and then maybe further down the line, they'll become members of their own. So, all right. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, thank you. Anyone-
Second. That's me, Christy.
Thank you, Christy. All right.
we have to vote.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm in favor.
Favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Anyone opposed? All right. We
Okay.
are done.
Thanks, Jeanette.
Thank you, Jenna. Good
Thank you,
meeting.
everyone. I really appreciate it.